Hey, what's going on guys, it's FPL Yusuf here and welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. Today I'm bringing you guys my final team selection for the Game Week 33 deadline. In this video we're going to cover a whole lot. We're going to go over some key questions surrounding this game week, and as it's a double we'll discuss whether certain players for single versus double is more important. We'll take a look at some of the clean sheet odds and the goal scoring odds for these coming games. I'll run you guys over what my transfer plans are looking like for this game week and also my near enough confirmed team for the upcoming deadline as well. So I do hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, please don't forget to drop a thumbs up and subscribe down below. And as always, let's just jump straight into it. Okay, welcome back guys, and thank you so much for being here with me today on my YouTube channel for another video. So let's start off with some key questions first surrounding this blank game week. And the first one up, I think, is a big one for a lot of us, and that is, should you be selling Gabriel as he only has a single game week this week? For me personally, I think the short-term answer is no. I think the only way my mind would change on this is that if you had multiple free transfers and you've got an easy route back to him in a few weeks' time, then I would say yes. I know it's on paper, it's not a great game. Obviously, he's going away to Manchester City. This is a massive game for the title, so both teams are going to be going at it. I think Gabriel has upside this game. I think that he could hit DEFCON in this one. Obviously, we've seen that he has scored at Man City before, which, you know, if Arsenal, you know, keep it compact, keep it tight and play for the corner, he could do that again. So I think that there's still enough upside with him, even though he hasn't got a great fixture, that he could still return big. Now, of course, having a double game week player, you know, he's got two bites of the apple essentially, so he's got two chances. But I don't really think that there's that many of them this week who can guarantee you clean sheets. And like I said, Gabriel offers the upside through, you know, scoring. Arsenal can keep a clean sheet against anyone, even though it's very unlikely. There is always that chance with them, and also, of course, he is, you know, going away to the Etihad, which means there's probably a high chance that he's going to get DEFCON as well. So I think short-term answer is no. If you've got 1, 2, 3 transfers, I wouldn't bother, because you're gonna want him back towards, you know, 35 onwards, which means you're gonna have to use another transfer to bring him back. So I don't think he's worth a transfer to move out and a transfer to bring back in. If you've got 5 free transfers and you generally haven't really got that much to do, I don't mind it. But like I said, for most of us who've only got, you know, 1, 2, 3, even 4 transfers, I wouldn't waste 2 of them on getting him out and then bringing him back in. So yeah, Gabriel I would keep this game week. Next up is for the people who wildcarded last week, and I know some people would have brought in Mitoma. He was, you know, pretty nailed throughout the season, but obviously these last couple of weeks he hasn't really been too much. Would I sell him? I think the answer is a little bit similar to what Gabriel is as well. I would say I would only sell him if I had multiple free transfers saved up. If I had the 5, maybe 4 transfers, then maybe yes, I would get rid of him. I think I would probably expect him to start one of these 2 games. Which one, I'm not too sure. I think that he's just a little bit too much risk on minutes at the moment. You know, Diego Gomez is playing really well. Jack Hinshelwood seems to be playing in the number 10. Obviously got Jorginho Ruto who can play across the, you know, that line. Solly March is back. So I think for me, Mitoma is one of those players that if you have got him on a wild card, if you've only got a couple of transfers, I wouldn't even bother. I would just keep him and just hope he's going to start one of them. You may get lucky with both of them. You know, he might come off the bench and do something, but I think my overall consensus on this is just keep him. If you have the 5 free transfers and you know you've got a lot in the bank, then maybe you could look to get rid of him. But for most of us, again, the same as Gabriel, I would just hold for this game week. Okay, and the last question is, who is the best captain for the doublers? There's only a couple of options, and they are from 2 teams in my opinion. Obviously, Manchester City, you've got the likes of Erling Haaland, Semenyo, and an outside shout at Rayan Cherki. I think Chelsea's players in Joao Pedro and Cole Palmer are definitely considerations to have. Obviously, their first game up against Manchester United, Man United are going to be without a few players. You know, there's talk about Kobbie Mainoo being injured, which means Ugarte would have to play. Obviously, Lisandro Martinez is going to be out. Harry Maguire still serving the suspension. So I think that fixture is looking a little bit more tasty for Chelsea. I think I probably would end up going for a Manchester City player though. And right now, for me personally, I am looking at Antoine Semenyo. I think he's the best guaranteed for minutes, but also he offers DEFCON potential. He does offer open play, goals and assist threat. I know Haaland's on penalties, and obviously it is Erling Haaland, and I think, you know, most people who own him will captain him, but for me personally, I am trying to chase rank. I'm trying to chase, you know, mini leagues. So you have to go different at some point. I think this is the week that I'm going to just try it. We're going to put it on Semenyo and just see what happens. So for me, Semenyo is the best captaincy option. But for a lot of people, if you're trying to just hold rank, trying not to drop too far down, I would say just put it on Erling Haaland and just see what happens. Right, so let's take a look at some of the fixtures for this upcoming game week who have the highest expected goals and clean sheet odds. We'll start off with the expected goals first. No surprise, it is Manchester City against Burnley. They are expected to score 2.75 goals, which is why I think owning 2 out of the 3 attackers for Manchester City is crucial. Either Cherki, Semenyo and Haaland. I think owning 2 of them is massive. Most of us probably have an O'Reilly, a Mark Gahey, something like that, but I think owning 2 of them for this game week in particular on a double is massive. I know one of them is Arsenal, which obviously isn't ideal on paper because of how good Arsenal are defensively, and obviously this game means so much for for both teams, but I think that Burnley game alone should return, you know, a nice little haul from one of them. I think the big thing is just trying to get on which one at the right time. So yeah, I would definitely be looking to invest in Manchester City attackers this game week. The next two, surprisingly, for me at least anyway, are Nottingham Forest and Newcastle. Both teams have been, you know, somewhat underwhelming this season, especially Nottingham Forest more so. Obviously, they are still close to that relegation zone, but I think they'll be all right. Newcastle have been very underwhelming, as we saw from last weekend as well. Not really the best from them. I think if you own Anthony Gordon, you'd probably keep him, but I don't really think outside of that there's really too much going on at either of these clubs that would make you want to invest. And last up on this list is Leeds. Now, this might actually have a little bit more food for thought in terms of investing. Obviously, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's had a great season. Noah Okorafor, again, same thing, come off the back of a brace against Manchester United. So they're on a little bit more of the ascendancy. Obviously, they play Wolves first, which is a massive game for two reasons. One, you know, Wolves are down. They haven't really got anything to play for now. But two, Leeds have got everything to play for. So, yeah, I would be looking at definitely getting a Leeds attacker, maybe somewhere. You want to invest in Leeds this week. They have got a double, and obviously one of them is Wolves. They are predicted to score 1.7 goals, so you know it is a massive number, you know, for them. And obviously they've got a second game as well. So yeah, I would definitely be looking at Leeds players for this game week. Then we come on to the clean sheet odds, and again, Manchester City are top for their game against Burnley. Again, if you're the likes of us who own, you know, Mark Gahey, Mateus Nunes, you definitely keep. If you're Nico O'Reilly, I would say keep until tomorrow. At the time we currently recording this, it's Thursday evening, and obviously Pep's due to speak at midday tomorrow. So hopefully we'll hear a little bit more about Nico O'Reilly. I think if there is a chance they can get him out, they will do, just because of the magnitude of this game. That means he may not end up playing against Burnley. They may rest him for, you know, 8 Nori, which I think that's just one of those things you just have to take on the chin if it is the case. But I think just due to the fact that how close and how, you know, no one can really afford to drop points right now, I think Man City would probably want to get their best strength team out. So yeah, if you've got Gahey and Nunes, you're fine. If you're Nico O'Reilly, we'll wait and see what happens tomorrow in the press conference. But I think I'd probably end up holding him if there is a chance that he's going to play. Next up for the defence is Leeds. There is 2 main targets here that I'm looking at. That's Pascal Struijk and Bijol. Bijol is actually better for his DEFCON. He's more consistent with it, but Pascal Struijk, minutes-wise, is a lot better going forward. Now, obviously, for the double, both of them are going to play, so I don't think there's any problem with that. I think what happens is when you come back after the double, obviously, Joe Rodon's going to be expected to be back around game week 35, which is when Leeds play Burnley, so you're going to want whoever you've got from them to start. So it is a little bit of a risk by taking Bijol. He said, like I said, he's better for DEFCON, but Pascal Struijk, I think longer term, is probably the better option for me, at least anyway, because he is better for minutes. And last but not least, Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest both tied at 40% clean sheet odds. I personally am not invested in either of these guys. They've been very underwhelming defensively all season for both of them. So I think this is just a nothing. I think if you've got the likes of Matty Cash, maybe you've got Milenkovic and Nico Williams, whoever, just keep them. But for me personally, I wouldn't go out my way to bring any in this week, and I wouldn't go out my way to sell them either. So I would just hold and just let them be as they are. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the transfer plans that I'm looking to make. I did speak about this in a video a couple of days ago. We'll start off with the confirmed ones that I'm definitely going to be doing. Anthony Gordon will be leaving, and I will be going for Rayan Cherki as a differential. He's currently, at the time of me recording this, only 8.9% owned. I do expect that number to go up. Of course, people will be activating their free hits. They'll be making their transfers later, so I do expect him to be around the 13-14% mark by the time we get into the game week. But he is definitely going to be one of my first transfers, as I am going to be looking to go differential from Erling Haaland this week. Confirmed transfer will be for me, and that's Jurrien Timber will be coming out. Obviously, we don't know what his fitness is like at the moment, so I'm not even going to bother wasting my time with him. He's been great all season, but obviously, especially for a double in your bench boosting, you need players who are going to play. So I will be replacing him with Pascal Struijk. Again, he's got great 2 fixtures coming up. You know, it's Wolves at home and it's Bournemouth away. They are 2 fixtures that I could see them getting clean sheets for. So another transfer which is going to be confirmed, and that is the first of a minus, and that is a -4. TK will also be leaving my team. Obviously, we know the news that he's been injured. Joao Pedro is the obvious replacement for me for a -8. Manchester United, like I said, are going to be a depleted Manchester United, so it won't be a full strength team. So Joao Pedro will definitely be in for me. If Cole Palmer's on the pitch, he's probably on penalties as well, providing Enzo Fernandez is not playing. So yeah, Joao Pedro will be a -8. Now there is an outside chance that I do a -12. Now there's 2 options for this. Number 1 is moving David Raya out and Carl Darlow in. The reason for this is for 2 parts. Obviously, one, Darlow's got a great double fixture this week, Wolves at home, and then he's going away to Bournemouth, which on paper, I could theoretically see Leeds getting 2 clean sheets in that. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. David Raya, again, same thing. You could see him getting a clean sheet against Manchester City. I don't personally think he will, which obviously means that, you know, if he does keep a clean sheet, it's great. If he doesn't, which is probably more likely, it's going to be a 2 points, maybe a 3 with the saves, but I don't really expect too much from him. But more so, it's after that. You know, Leeds have got they blank in 34, which I will be activating my free hit, and then they play Burnley in game week 35, which obviously Carl Darlow is their main goalkeeper right now. Where I think Arsenal are at home to Fulham, and you just never know. They followed that up with West Ham, so I think Arsenal have got a little bit more of a difficult run where I do expect them to win the games, but I also could see them conceding as well. So that is what my transfers are looking like right now. Definitely a -8 this week with a potential -12 in there as well. Okay, lastly, is just to show you guys what my team will be looking like. Of course, like I said, I have my bench boost activated, so all the guys on the bench will be, you know, making an appearance this week as well. So we'll start off with the goalkeepers. Carl Darlow with a double, Martin Dubravka with a double. So really happy that I've got both playing goalkeepers, both doubled up. The back three, Gabriel will remain in my team. Like I said, I just don't think he's worth getting rid of him to bring him back in a couple of weeks' time. I don't think it's worth 2 transfers. So I know it's not a great fixture at City away. We're just going to have to firm whatever he gives us on that one. So that's fine. Nico O'Reilly, at the time of me recording this, like I said, I haven't heard anything about it. I probably will end up playing him unless Pep comes out and categorically denies him that he's going to be in both of those games. Then I may look to take, dare I say, a -16. I really don't want to talk in that sort of tone, but, you know, sometimes needs must. So we'll have to wait and see on Nico O'Reilly. Pascal Struijk, like I said, I will be bringing in for Yuri and Timber, so he will definitely be starting. The other defender I've got on my bench is Malik Chow. I did want to get rid of him, but I'm not going to take a -16 to get him out, and I'm not going to take a -20 on top of that one as well to move him out. He's just going to have to just see what we get with him. Obviously, he's got Bournemouth away. It's not a great fixture, but, you know, same as Gabriel, I think sometimes you just have to leave them in there and just hope for the best with them. And of course, the last defender I've got is James Hill, another double for him. So yeah, we're just happy to own as many doublers for this game week as we can. Onto the midfield, Cole Palmer, Anton Semenyo, who is right now is looking like he's going to be my captain. Bruno Fernandes, of course, with his single game week fixture, he will be in there. Diego Gomez and Rayan Cherki finished it off with 2 more doubles. Midfield's a little bit of a tricky one because that's probably going to be where one of my captains are coming from. I think right now it's between the likes of Semenyo and Palmer. I am probably 90% sure that I'm going to keep it on Semenyo just because I think his minutes are good, guaranteed, and that Burnley game in particular is the one that I'm looking at. The forward line I've got Joao Pedro, who's sitting on my bench at the moment. Not that it really matters because we are bench boost. Igor Thiago will stay with his single fixture, and of course Danny Welbeck. I brought him in last week for this reason so that I have him for the double as well. So that is what my game week 33 double is looking like for my team. -8 definitely happening, like I said, with a potential view of a -12 as well. But as always, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please don't forget to drop a thumbs up and subscribe down below. And I'll catch you guys next time.